Hello, everybody. I'm Samuel 15 the Dragon Team here today, and today we're doing yet another uh, deck list and interview with someone. If you've been on Virbank for any period of time, you should probably recognize, and that is Kyle Thacker.
Faker.
Thacker. We just talked about this before. This is like the fourth time I did this.
What's up,
Whatever.
Virbank? In case you're wondering about how to pronounce my name, it is Thaker. Rhymes with Baker, I guess.
Baker.
Don't call me that.
Okay,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Sorry, my bad.
So how you
Anyway,
doing tonight?
yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, my buddy?
I'm doing okay.
All right, so. First things first, before we get too much into that, uh, what made you decide to play Night March, the cancer of the Pokemon, if you would will?
Well, I run Virbank, so I just wanted to make everyone just fucking salty. No, so actually, like, I went into this tournament. Now, this is the only tournament I played all season, so I wasn't going into it with any big expectations. And my buddy Jose Morero had just won Estates a couple weeks ago with Mega Ray Jolteon, and I've been a big fan of Mega Ray, but I've never played it before.
Yeah,
So I was like, oh my god, I want to play this. I finally get to play Mega Ray. I'm all in on this. So the only problem was I only had 3 Shaman. So I bought a fourth Shaman from a buddy, and he was shipping it to me. But come Friday, it still hadn't arrived.
oh, I hate that feeling.
So I'm quick scrambling because I obviously you can't play Mega Ray with only 3 Shaman.
No,
You
that's
know,
just blasphemy.
so I hit up some people I know, and one person says, "Yeah, you can borrow one of my Shaman. I'll bring it to you at the on Saturday morning." I'm like, "Okay, perfect. I got a plan." Saturday morning rolls around. I arrive at the venue. I message him. He says, "Yeah, I'll be there in a little bit." He was staying in the hotel, so he was just upstairs, I guess. But
Hmm.
um, so I'm just chilling there. I'm waiting. I'm filling out my deck list, and he's not here. He's not here. Finally, I hear the announcement: 5 minutes, turn in your deck list. And he's just nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, I have to. And I know him, so I had a feeling that I had to have a contingency plan. So I packed backup cards. So last minute, I just scramble and I put together Night March instead.
Yeah,
So
when in
so
doubt,
Night
Night
March
March.
Night March is always my backup plan. I mean, it's the best deck in Standard,
Okay.
so it's a really safe call. Like even if you hit hate decks, you can still kind of beat them just by doing Night March things fast enough sometimes.
Yeah,
So I figured Night March would give me a solid chance. I had a lot of good matchups, and you could just even against kind of weird things, things could still go your way. You set up fast enough, and you win anyway. So just figured Night March was safe and didn't really put me in a disadvantage against anything going in.
yeah,
And I ran a pretty straightforward list with just straight Night March, just some texts.
yeah, yeah. If you're not playing a deck that beats Night March, especially even if you're running Night March yourself, then you probably should not be playing in this format.
Yeah, rip to the mega Manectric players at Florida States.
They're all sitting there at the bottom table, just going, "Why do we do this to ourselves?" So anyway, this was Florida. This was an 8-round states, correct?
7 rounds. We had I
Uh,
think 126 masters because we had I think we had North Carolina too. So a lot of the Georgia and Alabama people went to North Carolina instead of down to Florida.
yeah,
So Florida ended up just being a 7 rounder.
yeah. By the way, Georgia has actually gotten pretty strong as of late. I've noticed.
Yeah, so I've heard. I haven't been super active this season, so I'm a little out of touch with that. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Georgia used to be run by Florida itself, but like some of the people down in Georgia are like, nope, we want our state back. So anyway,
yeah, we have Connor Finton just running things down there in the Carolinas, and uh, who else? Oh, I don't remember. Like I said, I'm a little out of touch.
I can't think of names off the top of my head. I'm not good with names. Like anyway, yeah. I, oh. Anyway, walk us through your tournament. What did you play against round one?
Round one, I hit a Night March mirror, which was not my favorite round one matchup.
Uh,
Um, I have never played mirror in my life. Night March mirror, that is. So I went into this basically with some theory and just kind of hoping luck was on my side.
yeah. And Night March Mirror, since you do play the two catcher, not all Night March players do, like the idea would be just to go try to get all the shamans, basically.
Yeah, catcher was absolutely insane the whole tournament. I mean, I'm very glad I ran those two.
Yeah.
I figured that was one of the reasons I ran those because I figured that like I hadn't been playing in a while. I was a little bit rusty, so I figured catcher would kind of make up for that. Like if I can't be good, maybe I can be lucky and get by on that. So, and there were definitely some times where I went into a matchup and I just said, okay, I guess if I flip heads and say Night March enough times, maybe things will fall together for me. So, I was definitely learning on the fly. But yeah, so round one against Mirror, my game plan was essentially just go for Shaman, don't bench any Shaman myself, and just kind of hope that works out. And in game one, I just get this beautiful start where I don't have to play down a Shaman.
Wow.
I can just battle Compressor and play Acro Bikes and Trainer's Mails. One of the reasons I ran the Acro Bikes, because that's kind of like some Night March players don't run them at all, but I went with a little extra bit of draw power in that to try to give me a little bit of extra speed without necessarily needing the Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. In game one, in the first round, I was able to just get ahead without using any Shaman, and he had Shaman, so he dropped a Shaman at one point. I was able to just drag it up and knock it out, and I went down to 2 prizes. And then next turn, we're trading prizes back and forth, but at this point I have a solid lead. So then next turn, I target whistle it, and then I just need a catcher or a Lysandra to drag it up and Night March it for game. And at this point, I finally use my Shaman, and I dig through my deck looking for one of my outs, and I whiff. I whiff with like I had like I draw like 20 cards that turn, something ridiculous, and I whiff. So
I shave it.
So I have to Night March the active, going down to 1 prize. But next turn I just need a DCE and I win. He Night Marches me, so I promote my active. I just need to draw the last DCE. So I Sycamore, no DCE.
Oh.
I draw my whole deck, no DCE. I'm like, did I prize it? Flip over my prize, no DCE. Check my prizes. All 4 DCE are in there. I'm just dumb. I just miscounted my DCE and threw away that game. So that was embarrassing.
All 4 DCE were in your discard pile?
And I just miscounted. I was like, okay, I have 1 DCE left. I got this. Just need to hit it, and I win. But nope.
Wow.
So let me tell you, that was a great way to start my tournament.
Oh, I bet. So how did game 2 of that round go?
I opted to go second.
Interesting.
I opened Pumpkaboo. He opened Pumpkaboo. He played like a Trainer's Mail and then pass, and I just dropped DCE, Battle Compressor, Dimension Valley, game 3.
Wow.
So, at least then I went into game 3 knowing that like had a chance of we definitely wouldn't go to time,
That's always nice to know.
And then game 3, I think he just he went second, so he got the first knockout, but he hit a point where he missed a beat. And then the momentum was in my favor, and I was able to at some point target whistle a Shaman and knock it out, and then I just had the lead and I won from there.
Right. So starting out your first round with a win's always nice.
Yeah, especially after I blew it in the first game of that round.
Yeah. Hey, at least you made it up. That could have been pretty bad, but hey, nothing to be salty about now, really. So, game 2, not game 2, but round 2.
Round 2?
Yep, round 2. Who do you play?
Round 2, I ran into Greninja. And I actually tested a little bit against Greninja with Mega Ray, which is obviously a whole different ballpark because your main attacker has a ton of HP, has like 220 versus 30.
Mm-hmm.
But I at least knew what Greninja did. I knew what the cards did.
Yeah.
But game 1 just I did not go my way. I wasn't drawing well, and he was setting up, and I just ended up scooping pretty early on because he had too much of a board, and I was still struggling. And then game Game 2, I opt to go first in that matchup because I want to be attacking before he's evolving.
Yeah.
So I went first, and I dropped a DCE. I try to not drop DCE when I'm not going to be attacking, but I had to Sycamore that turn, so I just dropped it, and I dropped the Dimension Valley, and I had an active Pumpkaboo with the DCE on it, and I dropped the Dimension Valley, and he has a Lone Remoraid. So I battle compressor some stuff, standard Night March turn 1. It was okay. He does his turn, plays a Trainer's Mail, and doesn't hit any other Pokemon. So he just has his Lone Remoraid, and he uses, what's it, Ion Pool? Is that Remoraid's attack?
Yeah, I believe so.
Discard Stadium in play?
Yeah, there's 2 different ones, but yeah, Ion Pool does discard a Stadium in play.
Yeah, so he discarded my Dimension Valley, so my Pumpkaboo, in the hopes that maybe I'd whiff the attack with my Pumpkaboo.
Yeah.
So I just dropped another DCE. 2 DCE and 1 Pumpkaboo. I don't give a shit. So that was so my second donk in 2 rounds. That was fun. And then game 3, I just absolutely blew it. He went first, and he ended up with an active Remoraid and a bench, I think, of Froakie. And on my turn, I had the option to drag up the Froakie and kill it, but he didn't play a supporter on his turn, and I wasn't sure, he didn't seem to have that much going on. Yeah, so my thought process was maybe I just kill the Remoraid right now, so in case he gets Octillery, he can't bail himself out of his hand, and then maybe he just whiffs next turn, I bench him out, and I win. Yeah. But it was really dumb because I did that. I knocked out the Remoraid, and he just goes Frogadier, Water, Ace Trainer, and Water duplicates. So all of a sudden he's got 4 Frogadier on board. I've got 3 cards in hand, and I was like, yeah, that's an attack. And I just end up not really getting anything from there, and I lost.
He kind of baited you into that, it seems, a little bit.
Yeah, I got outplayed there. I mean, that's 100% on me. If I killed the lone Froakie, then next turn the best thing he could do is bench more Froakie. Even if he ace trainers me, he'd be struggling too, so I'd have a chance to draw out of it maybe. But I mean, I got outplayed. I lost. I deserved to lose.
It happens. So
wasn't even salty. And he was another Orlando person, so he was a friend of mine, and we were laughing the whole match. It was a good time.
Those are the best games where you're just sitting there with someone who's just casual about it, instead of just sort of just sitting there with a really stirred face, looks like they have a stick way up, a little too far up their butt, and just looking all grumpy, going, "Oh no! You just trying to rule shark you and all that." It's all
I had a lot of pretty friendly players this time. It was a good time.
Yeah,
I've definitely had those kind of uncomfortable matches, but never really got called on pace of play. No one tried to shark me. Usually everyone was pretty talkative, and yeah, it was a good time opponent wise.
Yeah.
So
how was game 2?
What now?
That was game 1, correct?
That was game 3.
Oh,
game 1. Yeah, game one I scooped. Game 2 was a donk. Game 3 was that nonsense.
So you're 1-1 going into round 2, correct?
Round 3, yeah.
Round 3. Sure.
And I'll keep the rest of it kind of brief because I'm sure that people don't want to hear about every single detail of my tournament. But
come on.
Round 3, I ran into another mirror. So 2 mirrors in 3 rounds. I was thrilled. This is why I get playing Night March. Wanted to play Mega Ray, but here I am. Yeah, that's when I was really salty. When I lost to Greninja, just thinking, if I had played Mega Ray. But what can I do? Yeah. Round 3, another mirror, and these mirrors are like the same straight Night March with various texts. So almost like the same card for card.
Yeah.
Actually, in my round 1 after game 2, my opponent said something to the effect of, "Oh, it looks like we have the same list." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's funny." And I start rattling off cards, seeing if we had the same text. But I was just naming stuff that I didn't play to see if he'd confirm that he played it, so I knew what to watch out for in game 3. So
wow, you did that.
I mean, it's a game. You got the mind games going on. I'm like, oh yeah, you got the you got the judge. He's like, oh, no judge. I'm like, okay, don't have to worry about that now. And the 3-dimension valley, he's like, yep, 3-dimension valley. And I'm like, okay, I play 2, so now I know when to drop Parallel City. And and I was like, oh, you got the enhanced hammer, right? He's like, nah, I don't run that. I'm like, okay, don't have to worry about that either.
Yeah, you have to. Hey, mind games are just as important in this game sometimes.
He was friendly and he was volunteering information, and I will take that information.
Yeah, that's what you have to be careful about. Just don't be too friendly. Don't give away too much information. That's why I feel like a certain degree of people who are very silent, very quiet, they're doing it just to make sure they're not giving away any information at all, which I don't entirely just disagree with. I try to keep the whenever people ask me about certain things on the list, I go, "Yeah, sorry, bro, I'm not gonna tell you, dude."
I always just say, you'll see.
Or yeah, well,
That's
that
my
too.
favorite.
Yeah.
But anyway, so round 3, another mirror, similar cards. Game 1, I think I went first, and I don't remember who went first, but he ended his turn with just a lone shaman and a fighting fury belt. So at this point, I'm like, ooh, I want it. I'm hungry for it.
Yeah.
So I just burned through my deck trying to hit the stuff to knock it out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I end up hitting a sycamore and hitting 2 battle compressors off the sycamore, but I also hit 3 night marchers with no ultra ball and discard them.
Uh-huh.
And so with the battle compressors, I'm 1 night marcher short in the deck of being able to get the knockout.
Oh.
But I just decide the mirror can have so much variance going on, and it can suck so much that I was just going to discard every night marcher in my deck because I had a trainer's mail, and I was going to hope that the trainer's mail will get me something to get me going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like an ultra ball, an acro bike, something like that, to help me discard a night marcher from my hand to get me the knockout. So I just decided to go for it and try to get an early game 1 win. I ended up whiffing off the trainer's mail, so I have to hit a shaman for 130 and not knock it out because remember I had the fighting fury belt.
Ah.
I'm like okay, maybe he doesn't have anything else going for him, and I can at least zero sick it on my turn. But then in his turn, he drags up my bench Joltik, drops a DCE, drops a Pumpkaboo and some other stuff. Sky returns, takes out my Joltik, gets the shaman out of the way, and I'm just like, I feel bad. This is insult to injury kind of thing. So then I ended up, I overcommitted to try to get that donk, which maybe was the wrong thing to do, but I just kind of wanted to try to get the mirror match as quickly as possible. I end up overcommitting, and I don't have enough stuff to keep the game going, and I run out of resources and I scoop. I actually hit a point though where I made a gamble because he had dumped a Dimension Valley, and he had 1 in play, and his Dimension Valley in play, and Pumpkaboo. He was dumping the Joltik and attacking with Pumpkaboo to keep Sky Return off the table, to deny those cheap Sky Return KOs. So I was thinking, if I drop Parallel City here and he only runs 2 Dimension Valley, he can't attack with Pumpkaboo for the rest of the game. I'm like, maybe I can steal the game by dropping the Parallel City right here, and then just hoping he doesn't have another Valley. And then he did, and I lost.
So that was game 1, correct?
Yep. So that was I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a big pro play, and I made it, and it didn't pay off, and I lost.
No.
In game 2, I don't remember game 2 very well. All these Night March mirrors blend together.
Yeah.
I remember that essentially time got called in game 2, unfortunately.
Oh.
I was turn 1, and I had to take 3 prizes. He had to take 4 prizes. So going into he was turn 0, had to take 4 prizes. He did not take 2 prizes in turn 0, so he was not able to win that game. But all he had to do was keep me from winning it.
Yeah.
So I took out a shaman. On my turn, I took out a shaman going down to 1 prize, and I had an active Joltik with a DCE on it. This is my only DCE. I had 1 left in the deck somewhere, and 2 in the discard, 1 in the field. So
don't forget Puzzle of Time.
I think I'd used up my puzzles of time at that point.
Oh, okay.
I think that game I had to use a couple early game just to top deck something to get going. That's how puzzle goes. But so I had one DCE on the board, and I figured he's going to knock out my Joltik, and I'm going to have to desperately dig for my last DCE out of like a 20-something card deck. And if I whiff it, then game 2 doesn't finish and he wins the set.
Yeah.
So instead, going into his turn, he drags up one of my Shaman, knocks it out,
Yeah.
leaving my DCE on the board. So I'm going to my turn. It's like, okay, draw, Night March for game, and that was that. So he made that big misplay and just took away his out to win the game. So I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah, we take those.
Yeah, that was my hashtag of the day. Had a lot of we take those that day. So
you gotta take them, man. You gotta take them. So
I'm 1-1-1 coming out of round 3, going into lunch, and that's pretty much where I expected to be going into this tournament. I'm like, I figure I'll play another round or two, drop, and go home.
Yeah.
So round 4, I hit a Mega Manectric. We take those. I did Night March things. Mega Manectric did Mega Manectric things, which is lose to Night March. And I played against another Orlando friend, and so we had a good time talking and everything. But it's just not a good matchup.
No.
In game 2, she dropped a Jolteon, and I just captured it, killed it, and that was pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah, get out of here, Jolteon, before you cause me problems.
Yeah, I wasn't super worried about Jolteon going in. I ran a lot of techs, catcher, rope, target whistle. I just figured if a Jolteon came up, I'd try to kill it before it did anything. And if someone gets the perfect board of just lone Jolteon, no discard pile against me, okay, you earned it. You deserve to win. So yeah, that was round 4. Just I did Night March things. Yeah. Round 5, I hit my 3rd mirror of the day. And I don't even remember. It went to 3 games. I ended up Parallel City came in big at one point because I was able just to have a turn where I just exploded with Shaman and got a bunch of stuff going for me, and then just Parallel City bumped those Shaman off the board. So I got a lot of advantage. I thinned my deck a lot and I saw a lot of cards, but I also didn't give him those easy targets. And I don't know. I hit a catcher at one point. I took out a Shaman, something like that. Mm-hmm. There's actually a point where I had one catcher in hand, and I played teammates for DCE or for double puzzle at a time. I used the puzzles to get a DCE and a catcher. So I gave myself 2 outs with 2 catcher outs to hit a Shaman on the bench and kill it. Mm-hmm. And I got the heads there, so I won the set.
Nice.
I figured 75% chance. I'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about that. I don't know. It was a Night March mirror. I remember it was 3 games and I won, but I don't really remember too many of the details.
So you're 4-1 at this point?
I am 3-1-1.
Oh, 3-1.
Yeah, round 5.
Yeah, you're
at this point. I still need to win out.
Yeah, win out position. So those are always fun.
The thing is, though, like I've been in this position a bunch of times before, and I've never been in this position and made it in. I've always either dominated a tournament and hit cut at first seed, or I whiff. I lose a win and in, and I miss hard or something like that. Yeah. Florida Regionals in 2014, I was X1-1 or something like that, going into round 8, and if I won that one, I could ID in, but I lost round 8, so I was having flashbacks to that. I was going into round 6 in this tournament thinking, if I win this, I'm in a pretty good position, but I don't know. I've been here before. It's never worked out for me. And then my opponent flipped over a Ho-Oh EX. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
And not disparaging my opponent at all, but Night March versus Mega Manectric Ho-Oh, we take those.
Yeah, basically. They can't. See, it's a price trade.
It's just, and I just got super lucky that game. I just drew fantastically. Game 1, he went first, I think, and he got a Fighting Fury belt on his Ho-Oh. Mm-hmm. On game 2, I just get everything I need except the 0-6, and I hit the Ho-Oh for 180. Going into his turn, he top decks an Articuno and benches it. and on my turn I just draw Trainer's Mail, hit a 0-6, 0-6 the tool off the now Ho-Oh's knocked out, and
Nice.
he's got a lone Articuno. I just Night March the end.
Nice.
And he was drawing very poorly. He told me that game. He was pretty cool. He told me that game that if he hadn't drawn the Articuno, he was just going to AZ his lone Ho-Oh. I'm like, okay, I respect that.
Yeah, I always feel like I just always respect when someone like does this scoop up or does the AZ on themselves. Like, yeah, I actually one time saw like someone play like 3 tails on super scoop ups. It was like refuse being able to just unable to do it. It's like I just kind of felt bad for them. So
It's always bad when you whiff the scoop up to kill yourself.
yeah,
Like, okay, all I need to do is hit heads of one of these scoop ups, and I lose with style, triple tails. Then you just have to concede like a scrub. You can't even scoop like a pro.
no, you just
Feels
hit,
bad.
yeah. So anyway, you're 4-1.
Yeah, so round 2, he got some stuff going, but I mean, Night March is just too fast, and I said Night March enough times, and I won.
Yeah.
So I'm 4-1-1 going into the winning end in round 7.
Oof.
And I play against a really good Florida player who had played 5 Night Marchers in the previous 6 rounds and had not dropped a game to any of them.
Wow.
So I was nervous about that. He was playing Yveltal Garbodor with a lot of Night March hate cards. Like he was playing, I think, 4 little Yveltal. At least one of them was Fright Knight, and then he ran some Oblivion Wings. But I think there was 4 in total.
So,
And then
yeah.
he played Garbodor, which can kind of suck. And he played 2 Jirachi.
Ooh.
So I was
Ooh.
I was nervous going into that one. In game 1, he went first, and he got a Trubbish with a Tool, an Yveltal with a Darkness Energy and a Muscle Band, and a Gallade in play. Oh, yeah, he played Gallade too.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, draw, puzzle of time, put a Shaman on top, pass. And then next time, his turn, because I had nothing else going for me, on his turn, he evolves into Garbo, and I'm like, okay, let's go to game 2. I can't set up to get out of this one. I'm done.
Yeah.
In game 2, it goes better for me. I'm trading with his Yveltal with my Night Marchers, and then at one point he drops. He has a Shaman and an Yveltal EX on board, and at that point I feel pretty good, and I'm able to capture up the Shaman EX and kill it, and then next turn I'm able to kill the Yveltal EX and just win the prize trade.
Nice.
As soon as he dropped the Yveltal EX, I felt pretty good, because the only way he's really gonna reliably win that match is with is just the 1-for-1 trades, and hopefully I miss a beat with a DCE or something.
Yeah.
Just dropping the Pokemon EX put him in a rough spot. I'm not sure why he. I understand him dropping the Shaman. Sometimes you have to. I'm not sure why he dropped the Yveltal EX, but
Did he have other cards on his field? Other Pokemon on his bench?
yeah, he wasn't at risk of being benched out right away.
Okay.
He had an Oblivion Wing Yveltal. He had a Shaman. I think he had a Gallade too. So I'm not sure what was going on with that, but
Maybe he was tired at that point of the day. I don't know.
I don't know. He's a really good player. But yeah, game 3 was the game where game 2 he benched a Jirachi, but I was able to drag it up and kill it before it did anything.
Yep.
Game 3 was just Jirachi City. He sent up a Jirachi at one point and Stardust me, and I just decided that it wasn't worth capturing around Jirachi or anything.
Yeah.
If he hits me with Stardust, I'm just gonna pass.
Yeah.
And then next turn I won't attack, and then next turn I just kill the Jirachi.
Yep.
Because I figure like I'm not really losing any momentum if I don't attack. Like he essentially didn't attack me, I didn't attack him.
Yeah.
You know. So it's just kind of like shifting ahead a couple turns without really changing the board position much. Because it doesn't really matter if Yveltal builds up their board position. You just Night March them, and that's that. So
just Night March for days.
So I did that, and so I don't remember if he brought up something else or not, but I was able to kill the Jirachi. And then next turn, he plays Puzzle of Time, gets Jirachi back, and then drops another one from hand. So now there's 2 Jirachi on board. Like, okay, this is getting scary.
Roll Scraggy.
So I'm able to Puzzle of Time to get back a DCE. I almost got back 2 DCE, but I figured I counted up my deck and everything. I'm like, okay, I have 1 DCE in deck. I have 1 DCE. If I take back 1 DCE and knock out Shaman this turn, then I can just draw the last DCE and get my last knockout that way. So I had 3 prizes left. So I think I hit a catcher heads for the Shaman. So at that point I just did the puzzle for DCE and something, I don't remember. But I knocked out a Shaman, went down to 1 prize. He Stardusted away my DCE. And then I was able to I had a Battle Compressor in hand. I counted my deck. I had 9 cards left in deck. So I Battle Compressor, discarded 3 cards, went down to 6 cards in deck. Sycamore, drew my whole deck to hit DCE Escape Rope for game.
Nice.
So I this just shows what a good player he is too, because I showed him DC Escape Rope. He's like, okay, go on. So he make me play it out. So I played the Escape Rope, and he promotes his Fright Night Yveltal. And he was giving himself because I had a Shaman with a Floatstone on it, and he was giving himself that one little out, like maybe I misplay and I promote the Shaman with the Floatstone.
Well, that's
such an autopilot move. You just promote the free retreater and then you free retreat.
Yeah.
But I had a Joltik on the bench, and he promoted Fright Night, and I thought about it, I'm like, I cannot give him that one. So I remembered I promoted the Joltik, and I Night Marched for game.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
totally the sort of thing I would do too, where I just blindly promote the Floatstone Shaman and then get locked up there and deck out.
I've done that too many times to count up PTCG. Just oh well, I lose. GG.
So I really did like. I thought it was really cool that he did make me play it out in the hopes that I would make that little fuck up.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was that. 5-1-1, and then 2 people who were. I was on the bubble at that point, but then 2 people who were top 8 contenders tied, knocking them both out, and then that made sure every X1 made it in. So it was very close, but I managed to make it in. Actually, I made it in. Oh, I'm sorry. What now?
What seed were you in going into 8?
I was about to say, I made it in on 7th seed, so I actually might have been okay if it would have been okay if one of them had won and made it in. It just would have bumped the seed out. So, yeah, made it in on 7th seed, and I was feeling pretty good. But I found out I was paired up against my friend Jose running Seismitoad Giratina.
Oh God, it's probably like Night March's worst matchup.
And I was like, because this was a 2-day tournament.
Yeah. Day
2 was in the morning, and I had driven 45 minutes to get there, which isn't a bad drive.
No.
But we had to be back there like 8:30 the next morning, and I'm like, can I just scoop now and take my prizes and just stay home? I know this is like an 80-20 matchup in his favor.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to drive 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back just to lose and get my prizes.
Yeah.
But he said no, you got to show up to get your prizes. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it.
Okay.
And so I spent some time talking with a couple friends and strategizing the matchup out, and I went into it with a game plan at least.
Because that matchup is winnable if you are able to kill their Giratina early enough.
Yeah, or if you really go off and you get a bunch of Night Marches in the discard pile, and you're able to get a couple Pumpkaboo up and running with Fury Belts, so Toad doesn't Toad has to 3-shot them.
God, that's wonderful when that happens.
If you're hitting Toad even for 100 at a time and they're 3-shotting you, that's not so bad,
No.
So I figured my game plan was obviously try to just get the huge knockout if I can, get the 180 if I can, and just put that crazy pressure. But if not, go for that kind of mid-range pressure, that consistent 100, and holds a 0 stick in hand for when energy goes down in the Giratina, and just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah.
You know, I knew he had hammers and all that stuff scoop up, so maybe he'd flip badly a few times, and I'd be able to get the momentum in my favor. You know, so that was my game plan going into top 8.
So how did that work out for you?
About that. Game 1, I start with a Pumpkaboo. I drop a DCE, a Dimension Valley. I'm feeling okay. I play Sycamore. I draw a couple Battle Compressors, but I don't draw anything else to get me going. No Trainer's Mail, no Acrobike, no Ultra Ball for Shaman. I just have like Night Marchers in my hand and shit that doesn't get me anywhere. So I Battle Compressor some stuff. You know, I mean, maybe I'll draw another Sycamore and start hitting DCE. Going into his turn, Quaking Punch. Going into my turn, I just draw items for the rest of the game.
Oh god.
Oh, top deck. Oh, there's a Trainer's Mail. Oh, there's an Acrobike. Oh, there's an Ultra Ball. Oh, look, a Versus Seeker. It was just that for the rest of the game while he just draws a Quaking Punch. So
now they decided to show up when you can't use them.
Exactly, just to fucking taunt me.
You can't play us.
So, you know, this is my friend, and we're still joking around and stuff. But yeah, just drawing a bunch of stuff I can't play. But you know, this is a 75-minute top cut, so I just decide I'm gonna lose. I mean, I knew I was gonna lose about I don't know, maybe my 4th item top deck. I'm like, yeah, I have no chance. Oh yeah, he hammered off my 1 DCE, and I didn't see another for the rest of the game. That was another thing that happened. But I hit a point like I've definitely lost this game. But I'm just gonna play it out and see if he reveals any other techs I need to know about.
That's a pro level move right there.
So, and it did me a lot of good in game 2. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I made him knock out 3 Night Marchers and 2 Shaman, and that was that game 2.
Yeah.
So game 2, I opt to go first. I just need to hit some real. He opens Giratina. I open Pumpkaboo. I just need to hit some stuff and get a fast start. Maybe he misses a Quaking Punch.
Mm-hmm.
I draw. Look at my hand. Hex Maniac. Pass. That's all I could do. So at that point, I'm like, yeah, this is probably not going to go super well. Maybe Hex Maniac keeps him from like using Hoopa or Shaman to get the Quaking Punch off.
Yeah.
But nope, he drops Toad DCE, Skyla for Escape Rope, Quaking Punch. So
God.
I'm like, well, there goes me. It was fun while it lasted. Glad I drove 45 minutes for this shit. So I'm like, okay. I played Dimension Valley. I played a Shaman, set up for like 2. I drew 2 cards. Pass. Going into his turn, Quaking Punch. I promote my lone Shaman. So he knocked out my Pumpkaboo, you know?
Yeah.
So I played Teammates, grab a DCE, attach it to my lone Shaman, Sky Return. You know? if I'm gonna lose, at least I get to go out in style, like we talked about earlier.
Right. You gotta do it that way. You have to do it that way, right?
So I felt pretty pro about that I got to Teammates for the DCE to Sky Return for game.
I think I probably would have waited a couple turns to do that because like, or did you already have a Giratina ready to go?
I mean, he had a Toad, and I had played zero relevant items. Yeah. It's just I don't think he had a Giratina ready to go, but I had nothing in my hand. Like, best case scenario, when I get going, I'd already be down 3 prizes.
Yeah.
And that's assuming I top deck like a Sycamore, and then I draw some Night Marchers. But then I'd have to like hit a Sycamore and draw a hand with like 5 Night Marchers and like another Sycamore, 6 Night Marchers, another Sycamore, and then next turn Sycamore all those Night Marchers and draw DZs and shit. Like, you know, I had no setup, nothing in the discard pile. I had nothing going, so I had no problems going out that way. I saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I probably would have got a Sycamore with the Teammates for it, and maybe another Pokemon or something. But that's fine. You at least got to go out in the style. That's always fun.
Yeah, I mean, I considered Sycamore for Pumpkaboo or Teammates for Pumpkaboo and Sycamore, but like I said, I would have needed to hit a whole bunch of stuff, and even then, it would have been like maybe a 1% chance.
It's one of the most unlikely. It's a fairly unlikely thing. It's the only thing that's probably more likely is a Sharknado happening.
He crushed Night March all day. I think he played like 4 in Swiss, and I think he went like just 2-0 against all of them.
Nah.
And I'm like, I can either play it out and have a chance to maybe squeeze out a victory and go to game 3,
Yeah.
or I can just accept what's definitely going to happen and get a funny story out of it.
Yeah, you got a funny story though. So like, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I wasn't mad.
Nah. Nope. So anyway, let's go into a couple of your deck choices. But for the most part, this deck is fairly standard, at least at this point. Having 2 Acrobat, from my experience, is pretty standard. The Target Whistle and the 2 Catchers is becoming very standard at this point. A lot of good Night March lists have played the 2 Catcher and then Target Whistle. The only thing that really stands out to me is the Parallel City. That's like, I've yet to see that in anyone else's Night March list. Why did you decide to include that in yours?
That was like my soft tech for Mirror. I mentioned it earlier, but essentially the idea is I'd Parallel City, discard my own Shaman, and give myself a board just Night Marchers. And then if they wanted to try for some Target Whistle play, they would need a Counter Stadium and the Target Whistle and the Catcher all at the same time. The Catcher effect all at the same time. And I just figured like maybe they have it, but odds are they probably don't have it all at once.
Yeah.
So that Parallel City play could let me play Shaman and then bump the Shaman and probably put them in a situation where they can't get the Shaman in time. Especially because Night March players tend to discard the Dimension Valleys in the Mirror.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things to discard. They discard enough Night Marchers to hit for 100 consistently.
Yep.
In case they have to hit a Belted Pumpkaboo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just try to discard the fluff. And the stadiums are one of the first things that go.
And
so.
Your Dimension Valley not Dimension Valley, but Parallel City can catch them off guard. It's like, oh, I didn't know you played that. Oh well.
I liked it a lot that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There's another point where I was playing in the round 7 match against the Veltal, and he was just trying to run me out of energy. That was his game plan, and I was able to Parallel City away 2 Shaman. I had a 3rd with a Float Stone on the bench, so at that point there were no targets that he could drag up that couldn't either retreat or attack him. Because if I had left the Shaman on the bench and he drags one active, then I need to either find a way to retreat or burn energy sky returning, and I'm just essentially wasting that turn while he's still putting out pressure. So, I like Parallel City. There were a few games where it made the difference, so I was happy that I ran it, and I never felt like I needed a 3rd Dimension Valley either. So,
are there any deck choices that you wish you did not make, or wish that you did make?
The second Hex Maniac did nothing.
Okay.
I guess I liked playing Hex Maniac and Mirror when I went first.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try to maybe stun them. And there was one match where I think I played like 7 Hex Maniacs between the 2 games. But I don't think second Hex Maniac was necessary. I think there were better cards I could have run. Maybe, another Acrobike, a 3rd Catcher even. A Buddy Rescue. I don't know. Buddy Rescue wasn't really... I never really felt like I needed it at any point, except that one game where I overextended and threw away too many Night Marchers, but that could have been avoided if I just hadn't overextended. So
yeah, maybe a second Target Whistle.
Yeah, a second Target Whistle could have been pretty pro. Brandon Salazar, who made top 4, everyone was saying he ran 2 Target Whistles. He said he didn't, but I think he was messing with us.
Yeah. I know I interviewed someone that was playing 2 Target Whistle.
Yeah, that could have been pretty pro.
Yeah.
An Enhanced Hammer could have been good.
Yeah. Maybe would have helped you a little bit against the Toad matchup. Toad Giratina matchup.
Well, maybe it would have helped me if I had drawn cards, but the way that matchup went.
Yeah, that's true.
Nope.
That's very true.
Could have helped me in the Night March mirrors where I drag up a Shaman and also knock the energy off the board. So
yeah.
Maybe they missed the return KO. But then I I went 201 in mirror, so I was pretty good there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's pretty good in my opinion.
And AZ could have been okay. I never really wanted to judge. I don't know.
I'm also happy. I also see that you're not playing any Birch. Yay.
Yeah,
I hate that card. I hate that card so much. I always flip tails with that card. I always flip tails with that stupid card. So I don't play it.
I would have run Birch, but I'm not a scrub, so I'm kind of a scrub. Not gonna lie.
I'm
but,
kind of a scrub too, but still.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel any need for shuffle draw. I figured there's some hands. Maybe I'll have some bad hands where I have to discard important stuff, but that's what Puzzle of Time is for. I did I did put a little bit of focus on Puzzle of Time, but none of the things I ran were that out there. But Town Map, what I ran, some Night March people decided to cut the Town Map.
Yeah.
But Town Map is really good with Puzzle of Time.
Yep.
Because a lot of the time you'll prize a puzzle. You run 4, there's a good chance you prize one.
Yeah.
So with Town Map, you just hold off and wait, let that puzzle sit in the prizes until you have another one in hand.
Yeah.
Then you take the knockout, get that puzzle, and you have your double puzzle.
Yeah. I one time saw someone actually battle with a Town Map and then use Puzzle Time to get the Town Map so they can see what their prize is, which I thought was a pretty pro level play.
Yeah, I had one game. I don't remember what I went for, but I had one game where I battle compressored something important. I think it may have been a Fury Belt and Mirror, and I puzzled to get it back. That's always fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to battle compressor something away just to get it back with Puzzle Time. Those are always fun.
Yeah, I Puzzle was a huge MVP throughout the weekend, and I resolved like double puzzle, like 2 pairs of Puzzle of Time in like 8 different games throughout the weekend.
Wow.
So that was crazy. I got off a ton of use out of Puzzle. And teammates and Town Map went a long way for that. So.
Yeah. So, final question: how many championship points are you sitting at right now?
How many championship points do you get for top 8 at a state championship? Because that's how many I have. Yeah, like I said, this is the only event I played all season.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. I just wanted to ask that. Actually, I forgot, honestly. But
wanted to formally make that point.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I still have a road to the World's Invite. I just have to win a couple regionals, win nationals, easy.
Easy, yeah, easy. Yeah, anyone can.
Yeah, if anyone can do it, you can. Man. Come on.
Yeah, why not?
Don't be a scrub like me.
Season.
Don't be a scrub like me. Just win that. Do it. Just do it.
I am gonna go to. Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of Florida players actually, who are kind of less known in the country overall, and then they just kind of come out of nowhere and win nationals. Justin Sanchez in 2011, Brandon Salazar in 2014. Both good Florida players who didn't really have a lot of success out of Florida, and they won nationals that year.
Yeah. Jason Kozinski also used to be originally from Florida.
This is true. I don't think he was ever lesser known.
No. Like ever since he started playing Pokemon, he was known as Jason Kozinski, the Jason Kozinski.
Jason fucking Kozinski.
Jason Kozinski. All right, but thank you for doing this video with me today, dude.
Yeah, sure thing. It was fun.
All right, and thank you for anyone who tuned in and watched.
How long has this gone?
A little over 45 minutes, almost 50.
Jesus Christ.
It's actually probably about average at this point for me to have to do.
I got rambling.
That's fine. I ramble a lot too, so it's always nice to hear someone else ramble instead of me. Just watch any of my Pokemon TCG online videos in general, and then you'll see me just ramble for days and days. But anyway, thank you for anyone who did tune in today. Thank you once again to Kyle Theaker. Baker? Yeah, there you go. Sorry, my bad. And I will have more videos of this. I have more interviews coming up shortly, hopefully. And I'll probably be
Next time up, more of the same.
Yeah, basically. And thank you, everyone. Please like, subscribe, all that silly stuff. And I shall see you guys, hopefully, next time.
Later.